come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Depot devoid.
Depot devoid!
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Depot devoid.
Oh,
Welcome
crap.
back to Depot Devoid as we wait for the next thought train. I am Ted Fagan here with my brother who will introduce himself.
I am also Ted Fagan. Oh, no, wait.
Liar!
I'm Matt Fagan. I'm Matt Fagan. Fat Megan. I
Prove
am
it.
Fat Megan.
All right, Fat Megan, show me your ID. Is
I
it a
don't
real
carry
ID? Will the
because
Republicans
this is
allow you on a
not
plane?
Pre-revolutionary France, so I don't have to carry papers,
All right, well, I mean, that's true.
as I'm constantly saying.
That's probably not, but, you know, I'll roll with that. The other part was true.
You're not here. You don't know what I'm constantly saying.
I've been there. Close
Well, I
enough.
took a break from talking about pre-revolutionary France for just
All
a
right.
few minutes.
Well, let's continue to take a break about talking about pre-revolutionary France and absorb ourselves into the topic of They Live.
They Live. The classic, I think 1988. I should probably know that off the top of my head.
Pretty sure it's
Yes, it was
87.
1988 because it was released like 6 days before the presidential election.
Really? I thought it was 87.
Yes. Nope, it was election material. Because this is one of the trivia things that I just saw today, because it was also its release date was pushed back by 1 week so that it wouldn't have to compete with Halloween 4.
Great. So this movie came out while we were moving into Papa's house.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Awesome.
It's a good time.
I have great fondness for this movie. My first memory of it was our Aunt Patty subscribed, or maybe always purchased, but always had around, Starlog magazine, the science fiction companion to Fangoria magazine. Starlog had an article about They Live leading up to the movie's release. And when I opened the magazine to that article, I did not know at this point anything about the movie. I didn't know what the story was. The first thing you notice when you're looking at the page, like the background behind the text is like, you know, a peach color or something. And in little spots behind the text, sort of at a diagonal so that your eye catches them, are words like consume and obey in like a slightly different contrast, so you almost don't see them, and then you're like, what the fuck is this? And then when you find out what the movie is about, you're like, that's what it's not actually subliminal messaging. It is advertisement subliminal messaging.
That's great. And
but it was
horrible.
super cool. I loved it. I tried to find a picture of that to send you, but I could not. I'm sure it is probably out there. My research was not extensive.
Well, you know, it's not really much of a research kind of a show.
It might be later. You don't know.
I mean, it could be.
I'll go on some.
The PDF
deep
that you
dives
sent
for some
me.
stuff.
Yeah, the PDF that you
yes,
sent
that
me
was
good.
The movie is based on, inspired by a short story from the 60s called 8 o'clock in the morning. And it says that in the opening credits. I've always known that, but I've never made any attempt at all to find that story. And so tonight I just Googled it and found a PDF, and it's very brief. It takes very little time to read. It only took me longer than 10 minutes because I was simultaneously watching Escape from New York. So I juggled that in my consciousness, but it was a good little story.
I appreciated it.
Clear to see how it inspired pretty directly this movie. Also, it's a 10-minute read, so it's a bit different from the movie. had to flesh it out a little bit, but it's overall it's the same basic premise of we are already occupied by an alien force which is hypnotizing the population for whatever reason and
Well, it
keeping us in a
appeared from
state of
that.
semi-consciousness.
Yeah, and it appeared from that it was literally to consume us
Yeah, in the
as
story
food.
there was a definite, well, they were consuming us. I don't, it's not clear if that was their primary reason,
No, just
because
a
you don't
definite
really, you don't
activity that
see
they
anything in
partook in.
about what their motivations are, but they at one point are revealed to have been eating people. um but I mean, it seems like an awful lot of work just to eat people. um you got to imagine
Maybe
it's
it's
a
fun.
bigger, well, I mean, it is fun. But life isn't all about fun, Ted. There has to be more to it than that.
Well, sometimes people make enough money and all they want to do is go and put themselves down into Africa and kill a big old rhinoceros and take his little funny horn that's actually hair. You
That is
know?
true. Yeah. Well,
And
and
so
because it's a
maybe,
powerful aphrodisiac and it just
yeah,
fills you with boners.
I thought that was other kinds of horns,
And
ones that
rich
are
people
real.
love to be full of boners.
Yeah, they do. A lot of them.
That that may in fact be one of the messages of They Live.
It is. Although I believe the movie Society is a lot more full of boners. But, we can talk about that another
It is
time.
not it is not the fondest view of a society, of an American society entrenched in the midst of the Reagan administration.
Yeah.
It is anyone watching They Live, you would think would come away with the clear understanding that John Carpenter has some general criticism of capitalism and Reaganomics.
Having never actually watched the movie and paid attention to the opening credits, I hadn't realized it was a John Carpenter movie until this time. And
Oh,
also
holy shit.
there was one other thing that I really took note of in the opening sequence as the train cars are passing by. That is the only time I have ever seen bright, shiny, reflective new train cars. I want to say 3 of them rolled by, and they're like seriously reflective, beautiful, pristine, and then comes Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper in a role that was clearly written for Kurt Russell.
Yes,
But
100%.
honestly,
But
he
then
does a
hold up.
pretty good job.
The rest of the train cars immediately after those 3 shiny ones pull by are old as fuck.
They were the only new cars in Los Angeles.
The only new cars in reality, as far as I can see. But anyway, that's what I got for the opening sequence.
That's very interesting that you didn't realize it was a John Carpenter movie. I mean, because I was always reading those magazines. Like I very early on was classifying movies in my head by director. I mean, I was a teenager during the height of VHS rental shops in the 80s, during the publication zeniths for Starlog magazine and Fangoria magazine, and those magazines were so big that they each, while they were actually the same company, they individually had numerous competitors, which were also like surprisingly worth reading. And so I, as a kid in Coos Bay, had I had access to, a decent amount of material to watch at that point because home video was booming. But also it was Coos Bay, and so it's also limited. And so I was reading all of this material, and I was fascinated by practical effects and by science fiction and by scary stuff. And so whenever I saw a movie that I loved, the first thing that I would do is try to find out every single other movie made by that same director, and to the extent that it was possible, watch all of them.
And
And
that's
so I was on this movie because it was a John Carpenter movie.
that makes sense actually. I didn't end up seeing this one until I was 13 or 14 years old. So that would
Okay.
have put it 95 ish.
Like 95, yeah. Huh. And at any point that you watch this movie, it's still, its message is timeless.
Oh,
It is
100%.
sadly timeless.
Yeah, and the one-liners were beautiful, but the actual movie didn't need them.
No, and it's, it's interesting. I guess maybe we should, like, under the idea that there might be someone who listens to this who has not just watched They Live. Um, let's mention generally what the movie is about.
This is a disenfranchised man who has come from, I want to say, shit, either came from or to Denver, and needs work, and finds himself in a homeless camp after he has gone and picked up work at a job site working construction. And
this is a drifter homeless, not, crazy homeless, because we've got some of those in this movie too. There's like
well, I mean, to
a
be
pretty
fair, he's got some crazy.
he well, I feel like to the extent that we see him acting extreme, it's generally justified. We don't get anything about this guy really. He does not have a name in the movie.
It's true.
He never introduces himself or is addressed as anything. He's credited as Nada, which is besides meaning nothing, is the surname of the character in the story that this is sort of based on.
Which was
but he's basically
he's
nobody. He is the everyman. He is the drifter. He is the man with no name that Clint Eastwood plays in the westerns
with a mullet.
Yes, well, I would say a righteous mullet. And he blows
and some
into
high
town.
rise ass grab pants.
Like I said, this was clearly written for Kurt Russell. Apparently, John Carpenter, having recently cast Kurt Russell in 4 lead roles, felt like maybe it was weird, and didn't want the world to know about their forbidden love, and so decided to cast Rowdy Roddy Piper, and thus set off the sad boom of professional wrestlers who think that they should be actors.
Now hold on.
I would say
hold on.
Roddy does a good job here.
Was this before or after Hell Comes to Frogtown?
I think that Hell Comes to Frogtown was not actually like a theatrical feature. I think the distinction is that this was, first of all, an actual theatrical feature, and not only that, They Live opened at #1. Like, it almost immediately disappeared, but for some reason, it actually opened as the #1 movie. And Rowdy Roddy Piper was
amazing.
The star of the #1 movie in America. Somehow hasn't happened since.
Well, maybe he'll have his chance next year.
I mean, his death might prevent that.
Hey,
on
there could be stock footage. Stock footage, just like
I don't know how much stock footage of Rowdy Roddy Piper in non-wrestling circumstances is out there. I'm
Plan
sure
9 from outer,
there is someone
outer
who
space.
is willing to wade through all of it and see if they can cobble something together. I would vote for a third Frogtown feature.
That
he did
might
not
happen.
star in the second one.
I didn't know that there was.
But he
a second
could
one.
come. Yeah, it was with Lou Ferrigno. Yeah. And it was Hell Comes to Frogtown has a certain charm. Um,
I liked the katana that came out of nowhere.
if you like something about Return to Frogtown, it it like it feels like a porno, but it's like there's nothing
So did the
sexual or
first one.
pornographic about it. But in like its grossness, there's just something about it that like it's like you feel like you shouldn't be looking at it, probably.
So now I'm gonna. This is completely unrelated, and I know that I'm getting off topic here, but I mean, Lily Pad on Your Doorstep. You sent me that song a month or two ago, and you fucked a
It's
frog.
I love that song
Proud
so much.
of you, baby.
I don't know many people, but I have forced several of them to listen to that song.
I actually
I'm trying to fuck that frog all summer.
it's beautiful.
Maybe
One of
we
my
could
now
imagine
coworkers,
imagine if William Shatner were to talk sing that song
and I'm
the way he
not
does
mad.
tambourine.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you, baby.
I've been
Trying.
trying to fuck.
Fuck that frog all summer. Yeah, no, that works. That works great. I actually might have to make that my own self. Um, I shared that song with somebody
Actually,
that
let's
I've
get
known.
let's get Billy West as Zap Brannigan to do the William Shatner talk sing version of that song. That's way less problematic than getting the actual men's rights enthusiast William Shatner to do it.
But he's senile, and we might be able to get it anyway.
Yeah, but there would be like an intrinsic sadness about like I would feel like I was
And taking
committing elder
advantage of the
abuse.
elderly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good
It's like
point.
when Dr. Phil like interviewed Shelley Duvall. Like there's just it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, yeah, it's like that time that why can't I think of his name right now?
Michael Myers, who killed all those babysitters on Halloween in
Yeah,
1978.
yeah. Well, when Michael Myers interviewed Charlton Heston, uh, Mike,
His interview style is very quiet.
it is, and the man was clearly shitting in his diaper. Rough. I don't think I need to add anything more to that.
We'll circle back.
Yeah, it's good enough.
So Rowdy Roddy Piper plays this drifter who ends up in a homeless camp.
And not to derail anything else, is he actually attractive? That's a note that I have. Is he attractive? Because they really try. There's like the mullet
I
and
don't
the
know.
I can't tell. I can't tell.
I
if
mean, he's not gross, but it's
I can't tell if he's
no Kurt
honestly
Russell.
unattractive. He's not. Kurt Russell is attractive. I can say that. But Roddy Piper, I know I derailed it, but seriously, and he's supposed
No,
to, they
I
look
mean,
like they make
it's a
him
valid
attractive.
question. I don't think that I mean, generally, I would say in most John Carpenter movies, that doesn't seem like a question that is ever asked about any of the characters.
Yeah.
Like behind the scenes. So it's whatever Roddy himself brings to the table, which is, I guess, his pro wrestler charisma.
So he brought his own tight pants and his own bad mullet.
I assume so. I mean, there's an actual like pro wrestling match in the middle of the movie that lasts for 6 full minutes. So
which was full contact. But we'll get to that. Sorry. Anyway.
yeah. And he so through basically an accident of geography, he stumbles upon this underground resistance to something that he doesn't know is there.
And he can read lips from like 100 yards away, which attracts him to the church.
Well, I mean, that's why I go to church.
Lip reading? That's cool.
Yeah. The details, like, they don't, here's what matters. He finds the magic sunglasses. This is honestly the biggest problem with this movie is we take way too long to get to the magic sunglasses, and there's definite value
more
in
MacGuffins
doing some setup, but what we really need to get to is he finds these sunglasses that when he puts them on reveals to him the world as it really is. And that is basically the premise of this movie, is that humanity is essentially being hypnotized, and all of our media and our money, our print media, our broadcast media, our radio, it's all a signal and subliminal messaging telling us to stay asleep, to obey our masters, to consume media and products, to marry and reproduce. It's to keep us asleep and compliant. And when you put these glasses on, you can see through this subliminal messaging and see what lies behind it. And more importantly, that there are plenty of fucking aliens with gross, nasty ass skin and bulgy, nasty eyes living among us, just as regular people. And when you put those glasses on, you can see them as they really are, except completely in black and white.
And when you wear the sunglasses, you can hear the little dishes running around saying sleep.
Yeah, they make it clear that it's not just for some reason, it's not just the visual signals that these glasses penetrate. It allows you to hear the audio signal behind the radio signals and behind the fucking walk signal on the sidewalk. They give you access to they pull the curtain back and give you access to everything.
Right.
Which is obviously preposterous, which is why they make absolutely no attempt to explain how it works, which I'm totally down with that, completely on board.
It works
because
in this movie.
It's a great gimmick. It works so well. And that's what it's like. That was the whole idea, is to set this up where you have him putting these glasses on, and you see the world. The audience gets to see the weird black and white world with these huge billboards that say "Obey," and then he takes the glasses off and he's like sees that it's just like a swimsuit ad with some woman in, like, I don't know, a glass of whiskey or something, and then he puts them back on. It's like, and it says "Obey," and that looks fantastic on screen.
That's
a
amazing. Great job.
It's so simple, and it works beautifully. And that is why it's weird that it takes so long to get there. And I was thinking about this because John Carpenter, I love John Carpenter, and this movie, it seems like, positioning in his career, it should be like a director at the top of his game. Like, he's done some really amazing films at this point, and so many things about They Live feel like they're just a little step down from where he had been in previous movies. And it's not, I mean, Roddy is part of that, which I don't want to throw shade at Roddy. He does a terrific job, like I said, but it feels like he should have been Kurt Russell. And
Oh yeah.
the movie just doesn't look quite as good. And I realized Dean Cundy is the director of photography that he worked with many times in his career. He did Halloween, he did Prince of Darkness, I believe Escape from New York, all of these movies that have this similar look, like really taking advantage of like the huge cinemascope aspect ratio that John Carpenter loves to work in. And this is a different DP, and he's fine. Like the movie looks good, but it doesn't look as good as like almost every other John Carpenter movie. And the pacing, I feel like in the first half of the movie is really off. And
It is.
again, Deborah Hill, who was like sort of his producing partner, was his co-writer on a lot of stuff, produced Halloween and The Fog and Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China. She wasn't involved in this. Like all of these other elements that I feel like elevate his work were missing from this movie. And I really felt it this time, like I never had before. Just kind of trying to watch it like I wasn't 16. And I'm very fond of this movie, but I was realizing that there are definitely some influences that are missing from this one.
Now, I have a question.
Especially since I just watched Escape from New York like an hour ago.
There you go. Yeah, I've got a question here, and it's probably a silly one. I realize that this is a audio format that we're working on. We're looking at each other on video as we're recording it, but
oh my god, that's you?
Podcast, apparently.
I thought that was Max Headroom.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister things ever produced.
They live.
So here's my question. Having just seen this movie, does Rowdy Roddy Piper look my age? Older, younger? Look at this face, Matt.
I hadn't really I mean I'm generally terrible at ages, and I didn't pay that much attention. I guess I mean, I guess I would say he's probably around 40, yeah, ish.
Yeah. He's not. I am. I have just turned 40. He's 33 in the filming of this movie.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, he's been ridden real hard.
Yeah. I feel like he looked around 40, but
yeah.
Interesting.
33. Unless his age is
just
bullshit.
Like Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, he got rode hard too.
Okay, so we got to talk about Meg Foster, who is famous.
That's
for,
Evelyn, right?
Yes, Evelyn. She's famous for having her own eyes. That's her main attribute. She sort of looks like if you scooped Kirstie Alley's eyeballs out of her head, like around the time that she was starring in Cheers, and replaced them with horrifying doll eyes. That's kind of what Meg Foster looks like. She's well known to us and maybe to others as Evelyn in the live action Masters of the Universe movie from the 80s, which more importantly starred Courtney Cox, not as He-Man. That was Dolph Lundgren. But if Courtney Cox had played He-Man, I would have watched that too.
It would have been better.
Meg Foster was also in do you remember The Stepfather? Because she was in the sequel to that, which was kind of fun. The Stepfather is like this super trashy but kind of awesome thriller. It's I want to say it's a Canadian production from like also around this time, like late middle 80s. about a guy who it's like basically a serial killer who marries into single parent families and then goes insane and murders them.
Yeah, no,
And
I
she's
don't.
she's the mom and the stepfather too,
I
which
don't think
I largely
I've
watch
seen
because
her
I love
in.
her.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen her in anything aside from this and Masters of the Universe. And
Interesting.
uh, it's always been one of those funny things because I saw these movies when I was well, I saw Masters of the Universe when I was rather young, and I was like, these are sparkly, scary eyes. And then I saw the other one when I was in my mid-teens. I was like, that's weird and different, and I think it's hot. She's got scary eyes.
I mean, yeah, she has very fucking weird eyes. I mean, that's her. I mean, that's
They're
a great thing to
sparkly
have
bad
as an
things.
actress. I'm sure it may be limiting, but also like it gives you access to certain spooky roles. I would think she
And
never
she's
seemed
got,
to exploit it as well as she should.
yeah, it's terrifying. They
I
are
think she
scary
plays a
eyes.
witch in some terrible Rob Zombie movie in the last few years. I don't. Yeah, I don't like him very
I've
much.
never seen anything that Rob Zombie has done.
I have seen a few. I had to obviously my favorite movie is Halloween. So when he did his remake of Halloween, I had to at least see that. Um, my relationship with that movie is very complicated. But he did before that he did a movie called House of a Thousand Corpses,
Yeah, and
which
then
has
he
kind
did
of
a
a
House of 1,001 Corpses.
no, actually he did do a sequel though. It was called The Devil's Rejects, which I reluctantly will say was kind of good, but nasty, and I don't ever want to watch it again. His movies are uniformly joyless, um, and I kind of have to include his new
Kind of like his
monsters
music.
in that too. I know like nothing about his music. I
Burn through the
realize that
ditches
he
and drag through the witches and something about slamming in the back of my Dragula.
I
What's
I
a
don't even know
Dragula,
what to
Matt?
say to that.
Tell me
I
what's a Dragula.
Obviously that is a drag queen vampire.
So why
I don't
is
know
that?
why. I mean,
Why are
if
you
he's in the
slamming
back
into
of
the back
one,
of it?
you would have to ask his wife, Sherry Moon Zombie, if she is aware of the fact that he is slamming into the back of a Dracula.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
probably consensual. They seem very modern.
That's cool. I just don't understand what it's about.
He actually, I do not know anything about him as a musician or as anything really other than a filmmaker, but I will say that I have seen interviews with him related to his filmmaking and to other horror movies. There are, documentaries about horror films, and he will sometimes be one of the people that is interviewed for things like that. Um, he is actually very knowledgeable and articulate. Like he knows what he's
Okay,
talking about, and I absolutely respect his opinions about horror movies, but I do not enjoy the movies that he makes.
okay. Well, I'm going to put this out here right now in our audio podcast format. I don't know shit about his movies or him about a person or any of that. I think that he sucks ass at music.
That may very well be true. I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of his movies either. So
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
maybe his music is just something that I would not be into, but is like a good example of what it's trying to be. I don't know. Um, but I don't generally want to watch his movies. I watched his new Monsters movie out of curiosity because I am a really big fan of the original
I
Monsters
love the
series.
monsters.
I've been like I binge them a lot. I have them in my studio. I have the complete series on DVD, and I put it in while I'm working because I fucking love it.
It's
And I
fun.
know that Rob Zombie also loves the Munsters. But here's the thing, Rob Zombie loves the movie Halloween, and so do I, and I think that his version is awful. So the fact that I love the Munsters and so does he does not mean I was going to like his Munsters movie, and boy, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No, and we're going to end up having to pause this because we are about to run out of time. I'm going to hit up the bathroom real quick, but as we go out, I am going to, now that I remember it, I'm going to give us a little melodious end to this bit of our recording session. And here comes Rob Zombie's "Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches and slam and that's all we really need to know about Rob Zombie. It's bad.
Hey folks, welcome back to the George Buck Flower Appreciation Society. You all remember Mr. Flower as the drifter from They Live. He was also the drunk in the stairway in Escape from New York, and has in fact been in a number of John Carpenter movies and dozens and dozens of other feature films, but most especially 1988's They Live.
To be quite frank, you're actually doing a wonderful impression of this man here. You done good.
I totally love this guy. His he plays a lot of bums and drunks and janitor types, and it's almost impossible for me to watch him in a movie without doing an impression of him while it's happening. And Bill, of course, will attest to what a joy that is to be around. And in fact, the louder and gravelier an actor is, the more likely I am to interrupt proceedings with an unrequested impression.
Hey man, can't you just see?
I'm kind of not allowed to watch. I'm not allowed to watch old episodes of Heart to Heart because they have their chauffeur, handyman, man about the house, servant. Max is played by Lionel Standing, some sort of stand. And he talks like this. And whenever I watch Heart to Heart, I spend days, I tell you, interjecting with this voice.
I respect that. I do these things all the time. And it pisses everybody off around me.
I try not to watch too much Heart to Heart when he's in bed.
I've never
wake
seen
you
Heart
up
to
from
Heart.
the next room.
So
dumb old detective show from like 1982 with Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers.
Yeah,
it's rich people solving mysteries.
Yeah, I saw previews for it, and I changed the channel back when I was staying up all night long when I was in my early teens, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to the Cartoon Network. Just suddenly showed up.
There's nothing in particular to recommend it. It's just it's one of those weird sort of nostalgia things where it's like there's nothing terribly offensive about it.
Yeah, like watching Hunter.
And, I may have the complete series of Hunter.
I'm not DVD, surprised.
And
come from that era
very much. It's Dirty Harry the series.
Yeah, it felt like that. And so
that's exactly what it is. It's lots of fun. Except, do you remember Sledgehammer?
No.
It lasted for like 2 seasons in the mid-80s. It was basically Hunter is Dirty Harry as a weekly series. Sledgehammer was Dirty Harry as a sitcom.
Yeah, so you asked, do you remember Sledgehammer? And I said no, which was a lie, because immediately I'm tracking back to that time frame, and all I got is Sledgehammer!
Well, yeah, there is also a Peter Gabriel song called Sledgehammer. It is not the theme song to Sledgehammer. I'm sure he would not allow his name to be associated with that. Which
is a shame, I'm sure.
But it was I mean, no, it was a terrible show, but it was really funny. It's really just one joke.
We can attach a lot more.
Anyway, they live.
Back to the movie with a man without a name.
See, it's Dirty Harry.
I
as the man with no name.
absolutely loved that fucking fight scene, which up until
It is classic.
Well, and just a few years ago, that was the longest real, honest physical contact fight scene in a movie.
Yeah, I think it did hold some sort of record.
Yeah, and I don't know what the one that took its place was, but I do appreciate both of those guys being like, no, we're going to fuck each other up to make it look real.
Yeah, apparently it was their idea. It was not meant to last that long, and they wanted to push it. And I mean, it's great. It's a lot of fun, and you can tell that this is you feel it while it's going on. They weren't pulling their punches. Apparently, like other than face and groin punches, they were full contact on screen.
And in theory, the blood when they go into the hotel room that's dried on their faces. I can't attest to this being true, but in theory, that was their dried blood.
It could be. But yeah, it's a long, brutal fight. It's actually it's also extremely silly.
Put on the glasses.
They're literally having a punch up over what's his name? I want to call him Childs because that was his name in The Thing. Frank. I believe his name is Frank in They Live. Yes. Childs wouldn't put on the fucking glasses. And then they beat the shit out of each other. And of course, eventually we get him in the glasses, and then they are fast friends once more.
They were jolly good partners at that moment.
It's a good little team up. And I guess John Carpenter wrote that role specifically for Keith David because they obviously worked together on The Thing, and he thought that he would be great as essentially a sidekick, but also has to be like his own character and not feel like support as much as like equal ability. He's just not the main character. And so he wrote that for Keith David, and he's great. They're a great duo.
I've always loved his
terrible
voice.
What happens to him?
Well, it's really unfortunate when he gets shot by the gray-eyed woman, but that's a few minutes on down the line.
She's spooky. Obviously, she's gonna kill him. How could you not expect to be double-crossed by Evil Lynn?
Yes,
it's right in her name. Her name is Evil.
Yeah, and
in a different movie.
Backtracking though to earlier in the movie, we do need to try and keep things a little bit more linear in the process. We're going to have to figure out our own process a little bit better on this. But earlier,
people, you need to have already watched this movie. Are you watching along as we're talking?
If you
know your shit before you get here,
wrong.
This is not a film commentary that you're supposed to watch along with the movie, and also you shouldn't be listening to commentary while you watch a movie for the first time.
It's true. When Rowdy Roddy Piper, the wrestler, has Evelyn, the horrible assistant of Skeletor, in her high-rise apartment, well, I guess it was probably a condo, looking over that hill, and she does that cool spin champagne bottle to the back of the head and shoves him through the single pane glass window, and he falls down 3 stories, rolls down the hill, and he's like, oh, my wrist hurts, ouchie. Oh, what a poor wrist. And he's fucking ready to go. And then go fight Keith David?
He's an action movie star.
Yeah.
That's what they were like in the 80s.
And he was only 33. When I was 33, I was invincible too. I'm actually probably more invincible than I was when I was 30.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend pitching yourself out a window and down a cliff to prove
I
it.
would take a fucking fight with Rowdy Roddy Piper today. He's dead.
I feel like you would probably have that in the bag. I'm not sure I would want to watch.
I haven't fought a corpse in a while.
How do you tell when you're finished?
I think it's up to the corpse.
Okay. I mean, you obviously have more experience than I do with this, so I will defer to your expertise.
You've never fought a corpse?
Not to completion.
Oh. Well, I mean, I guess let's revisit this.
We both
topic
got
another
what
time.
we needed out of it.
All right. Well, okay. Well, I guess we know where we stand on corpse fighting.
Are we supposed to stand on them too?
Well, you don't have like both feet, but at least one. It's like claiming territory.
Like I'm Eric Trump.
Stick a flag in it. Put a foot on it. It's yours. You're the winner.
Like pose with my musket.
No, not unless you're like bayonet in it. You don't put the butt on it. I mean, that's the cheap man's way. You got to have blood.
Like my corpse posing instincts are just all over the place.
No, and it sounds like you're aligning with the Trumps, and that's out.
I was just using that as a cultural touchstone visual aid. Something we've all seen.
There you go.
A Trump with a foot on a corpse, proudly grinning. That's something we have all seen.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Okay, so we've got Keith David on board now. He knows all about the they lives everywhere.
Yes.
There's
what are we going to do about this, man?
Shops. There's they lives on the TV. There's they lives running for office. They're all over the place. That's what are you going to do? I got to say, I was, as a kid, I was immediately on board with all of the politics of this movie. It wore its feelings on its sleeve, and every little bit of it appealed to me. It was probably in terms of showing a modern depiction of class striation. It was so in your face. You are positioned as the homeless person with no name in this movie, and so the sense of powerlessness that you are identifying with as the audience is as extreme as it could possibly be. And then we get all of this stuff thrown at us all at once, and the next thing you know, we're in their weird underground base, because once you get past the halfway point of this movie, everything happens in 30 seconds, and we see literally the crowd of super snob, this is in an underground base or so, but it's a crowd of super snobs in their finery and dripping with jewels and being referred to as the human elite. It's pretty much hard to miss the messaging of this movie,
100%.
about how the capitalist society system is fundamentally unfair and exclusionary, and in this case, we get the added bonus of colluding with alien overlords, to make it extra obvious that the human elite are a bunch of evil bastards.
Well, and they're even
But
tying in the
I loved it.
Yeah, no, and they're even tying in the climate change into it. And this was back in the 80s,
Yes.
back before like climate change was really that hard. Or
Right, back when you could talk about it without the entire right pushing back against you.
yeah, no, they're talking about it like the climate is changing. They're turning it into the climate of their planet. They're terraforming it for their own species.
Yeah, I mean, it borrows from a lot of sci-fi sources, like
it does.
But I mean, it's the reptilians too. It's a lot of great.
They didn't make them
tropes.
reptilians in the movie, though. It was in
no, but it's still. I mean, you got. Well, first of all, I would argue that can you be sure they're not reptilian until you see them at the end? Since everything's in black and white, you don't really know what their deal is.
They're just lipless,
but they're not. No, there's
with...
there's some other weird thing. They're like weird bug-eyed corpse dudes, which look pretty fucking fantastic once you finally get to see them in color, and they're all like blue and red and gross and weird. And the one at the end when he's all naked, you can see him spotty underneath.
What's up, baby?
Chest. Oh, it's so good and so much fun. But yeah, it borrows from all of these like great sci-fi concepts to really starkly cast like the evil of the aliens and the selfishness and evil of the human colluders, collaborators, and we like there's not even like there's not really even a middle class in this movie. There's the alien overlords.
They say
there's
it,
the evil elite, and then there's the fucking homeless.
Yeah, no, they say
it's like everybody else. It's like Metropolis.
Yeah, no, in one of the early
Fritz Lang movie, not Superman's house.
Yeah, one of the earlier broadcasts on the pirated television station, I believe, the guy said, "There is no middle class no more, or anymore."
Okay, there you go. Well, certainly based on what the movie shows us, that appears to be true. Like if there's a middle class, it's just the people who are in the shops who aren't the aliens.
Yeah,
because that's all we like. We don't really see anyone else who's not like actively colluding, who isn't homeless. That's all there is. And then some of the homeless become, and then some of the homeless they get caught up in this, and they realize that if they collaborate with the aliens, then things get a lot better for them. And then instead of wearing their homeless clothes, they get those nice sort of fancy suits, and they get to go and hang out with the human elite.
Come on, guys. What's wrong with us getting a little bit of something for us anymore? Don't you want to have a piece of the good life?
Don't you want a taste of the good life?
It's good stuff.
But I got to say this movie, I think it holds up because unfortunately everything about it is still completely valid, and if anything, it doesn't even go far enough anymore. Like sort of like how RoboCop seems less like a comedy because it's almost restrained compared to just a typical R-rated action movie. This feel, I mean, other than the sci-fi concepts, it's not really more extreme than regular life. So we've kind of caught up with the projections of They Live.
Well, and also when you see somebody fixing their hair who's just like obviously doesn't need to be made up that much in the first place. We don't even need to talk about the one-liners in the way that they are distributed. What's happening in that is somebody is seeing somebody doing something that is so far outside of line of normality. It's like, why the fuck is this happening in the first place? and yeah, I don't know. It's such a well done piece of unpolished garbage. I love this movie.
And I think that's why I do feel like sort of bummed out that he's missing some of those other elements. Like I wouldn't take this starring role away from Roddy Piper. Like he absolutely carries this movie, and he deserves that. But I would take away the DP's job and give it back to Dean Cundy, and I would bring Deborah Hill on as a producer and to help streamline the script a little bit. Because I think that this movie would have like a broader appeal with just a little bit like John Carpenter is capable of bringing this up just a little more so people would love it without having to already be predisposed to loving this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so like it's sort of, it's prescient. It's a bit ahead of its time. And I think that it even though like say something like Escape from New York tries much harder with the sci-fi concepts, and because it's doing that in like 1981 or 82, it appears more dated, and yet at the same time it also is more polished and I think holds up a little better than this, just because behind the scenes they're just a little bit like higher talent going. Like I don't want to like insult the people who worked on this. It's just that like it's not his A team. Like he's worked with a stronger team, and it shows. And like imagine, like Roddy Piper might have like gotten a little bit more on his acting career if like this movie had like a little bit more than that going for it. I mean, like I said, it opened at #1 and then it just sort of like it was gone real quick after that. And maybe again like a little more staying power. But I still feel like, I mean, it has definitely like it has held up, and people know it, and people definitely recognize those striking alien designs. I've seen some beautiful cosplay. It's something you can do with like you can buy masks and ping pong balls and make this shit at home. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, I knew it wouldn't be hard, and it's a really fun game. I mean, they live ever since the very first time I saw it. It's like, holy shit, that was amazing. But I do have to say,
the money that says this is your god,
it's perfect. But the PDF file of what it was based off of that you sent me earlier today, I don't remember what it was called. I
actually brought that up because we should say that out loud on the podcast.
We probably should.
It is based on a short story called 8 o'clock in the morning, by Ray Faraday Nelson, 1963, and yeah, you can find that online, and it's a quick read, and it's a good story.
It is 5.5 pages. I really appreciated it. What I really thought was a hell of a lot of fun was you and me texting each other about it, and us both having a pretty strong connection to it, feeling like it was just like the silence from the Doctor in Doctor Who.
Absolutely.
I thought it was neat that you got that along with me.
It was, yeah, there were, and I again, I don't know if this was in any way like directly connected. I don't know if Stephen Moffat, who was the showrunner and the creator of the silence on Doctor Who at the time, if he is familiar with the story or not. But there are definite elements. Again, like I mean, it's not a new idea. The idea of we are already occupied. This has come up in many science fiction stories, but there are a couple of little things about the silence and 8 o'clock in the morning that ring as really familiar, and they both have that significant moment at the end when the character is using a broadcast that everyone is watching to deliver well, I mean, in the case of the story, a liminal message as opposed to a subliminal message, that will cause people to rise up and turn against the aliens that are already occupying them. And it's really the same moment in both 8 o'clock in the morning and Doctor Who, and that could absolutely be chance. But it's interesting. It definitely, like, it felt so familiar.
Yeah, and even if it is,
And you know, 1963 is the year that Doctor Who premiered.
Was it?
It was indeed.
It's funny.
This year is the 60th anniversary. The next episode that's going to air is not going to be until November, and it's the 60th anniversary special.
God, yeah, I keep thinking that 1963 was so far away and so old when I was little. I'm all 40 and shit now. What the hell's that?
Yeah, you're practically older than me now.
Basically. God.
You're probably going to turn 50 before I do.
I might. I mean, it's coming. I keep thinking here in about like 2 years, I'm going to be like older than Ian. That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Knock that shit off.
No, I'm just going to keep going. I intend to be around.
Can you skip over one of them?
No.
Let's go 41, 43.
Yeah, I did tell Emily, though, that I didn't turn 40 for my birthday because all this stupid running that I'm doing to try and get my blood pressure better, that I think I probably already told you this probably 5 times. I didn't turn 40. I turned 38.
Okay, right.
I got Benjamin Button disease.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. It looked tedious.
Neither did I, nor did I read it. I'm just going off of the previews that I saw.
I would be willing to read it. I have nothing against that, but I did not watch that.
I don't need to see Brad Pitt get old young.
I don't generally need to see Brad Pitt at all.
I don't think there's ever any reason to.
There are a couple of things that I like, that they're not Brad Pitt vehicles, but he is part of them. I enjoy Thelma and Louise. He has a small role in that.
I don't remember him in that, but I did enjoy.
It's not a big part. And yeah. 12 Monkeys is the other thing.
12 Monkeys is fun.
Yeah, and he's got a little role in that. Oh, also
True Romance.
What's Its Nuts? Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, True Romance.
That's literally what I meant when I said What's Its Nuts. I just remembered that he was Floyd in that. That's the movie that caused the entire world to make little honey bear bongs.
Oh shit, that's where they came.
Yep. Brad Pitt was smoking out of a honey bear that had been converted into a bong. As Floyd, the roommate, who gave directions like, yeah, you go, and then you go, and then keep going, and you turn. Yeah, at the Safari Motor Motel Inn. Yeah, Safari Motel.
Well done.
That's my Floyd from memory.
And that's Brad Pitt, and anybody
that captures his essence.
And anybody who has a honey bear bong out there.
I would say that
burn it right now.
Brad Pitt's 6-pack abs do not capture the essence of anyone who has a honey bear bong.
You got to eat that honey before you make that bong.
Some beer and some cleaning products. I made Bill watch that once on Valentine's Day, like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was more gruesomely violent than I remembered. And
You know, that movie, you actually introduced me to that movie long ago. And it's absolutely fantastic. The thing about that movie that always sat with me is it was one of the last movies when I realized that Gary Oldman's a fucking amazing chameleon.
oh yeah.
It was one of
He's
the last
terrific
ones.
in that.
Yeah, it was
Drexel, is that
probably,
his name in this
yeah, it's Drexel. It was probably 3 years after I realized that I'd seen so many movies that I do or don't like, but there's this one person in it who's like, that guy's great, even if I do or
Oh
don't
yeah,
like that movie.
he's
And then
incredible.
it's like, wait a minute, this is one man? And then it's like, oh, fuck, he's Drexel too? And he's
That's-
and
that
he's
is the
Count Dracula with
weirdest
the hairy
role.
palms?
Yeah, he Drexel, Dracula, probably Dragula too.
Well, we'll just have to go ahead and ask Rob Zombie about that one.
Oh yeah, he's
Lamb in the
fantastic.
back of my very old nun.
And we'd probably like maybe actually discuss the end of the movie just in case like we forget to.
Oh yeah, and we've got only 8 minutes and 38 seconds.
Okay,
before the
well
end of
let's maybe focus a little bit on what we ostensibly came here to do, which is that this is a movie which has a basically a happy ending, which is not typical for John Carpenter necessarily.
Well, I don't know if it's happy,
but
but hey, watch holes. Watch
it
holes.
it is triumphantish.
Watch holes.
Wait, what is that?
They can teleport, with their watches.
Watch holes.
but the watch
Watch
holes
holes.
also.
The Warner, you mean the Bugs Bunny portable holes?
Yes.
Yes, that is an excellent feat. Yes, when they the way they get to the underground base with the human elite, and I don't know if it's an underground base. They go through a hole to get there. That doesn't mean they're actually landing underground. They could be on like the 27th floor. The aliens watches open up a Warner Brothers cartoon style portable hole in the ground that you can just hop down into, and it is pretty freaking awesome.
I love them.
It's something you don't see enough of. It's really just They Live in Roger Rabbit, which came out like pretty much the same time.
You're right. So, I mean, that's really my biggest talking point was watch holes.
I mean that it is an important point. I mean, there are not a lot of movies where that comes up, and it's literally like just a hole. It can't be. It's like it's a teleport hole because it's not like that base just happened to be where they're standing. It's like it opens a hole that is also a magical teleporter.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
And then you walk through the basement.
And who the fuck knows where they ended up? But they're in the alien base, and this whole thing hinges on the idea that somehow this entire occupation of Earth and the massive subliminal messaging, completely hypnotizing all of humanity into not realizing that we are occupied and living side by side with funky looking alien dudes, all comes down to a single satellite dish on the roof of the building that they're in.
Fuck Channel 54.
Which some extra critical viewers might describe as unrealistically convenient as a plot point. But it's pretty awesome, because that means that the whole action of the movie is, if we can knock out this signal, then we can reveal the presence of the aliens, because that's really what we need to do as a species, is wake up and realize that we are occupied. That's what happens with us in the silence. That's what happens with us in 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's what's going on here. And so it all comes down to Rowdy Roddy Piper and Childs from The Thing and Evil Lynn going up to the roof. But surprise, surprise, who would have seen this coming? Evil Lynn, secretly
shot
evil.
Frank.
And like pretty, like kind of nasty. Like I mean, if you weren't smart enough to be like, obviously she's got those eyes, she's evil, and she's gonna turn on them. If you didn't see that, then you may not have seen it coming. And then she just fucking shoots him in the head, and bye Childs. And then so we have this standoff, trying to stop Rowdy Roddy Piper from saving the world. But he saves the world and knocks out the signal. We're assuming this is like waking up everybody. Plausibly there are multiple stations around the planet, and maybe this is only going to wake up Los Angeles. It's sort of presented in a triumphant way. I think we're meant to believe that this will have a cascading effect.
There is one thing that you're missing.
Generally free people. Uh-oh, what am I missing? Oh no, are you one of them?
Well, I am.
Are you a they live?
That's...
Do you live?
I am an alien. However, here's a problem that you're missing. Ghostbusters. Did you not
How is
notice...
Ghostbusters a problem?
Did you not notice that people are talking inside Channel 54's building? They're talking into Ghostbusters detectors.
Yes, that is
Why
true.
are they talking into them?
PKE meters.
Why are they talking into them? Are they communicating with the Ghostbusters? All right. Now it's happening.
Holy crap, it's happening.
Welcome back to Two Brothers Talking About Bullshit. That's a new story.
Wait, bullshit, the Showtime series starring Penn and Teller?
Oh, crap.
That's a whole other conversation.
I can show you magic?
Okay, so...
I know a card trick. I can show you a card trick.
That's perfect for a podcast.
Yeah. I'll tell you how it goes.
I've heard that card trick centric podcasts are absolutely the next big thing.
Yes.
I can't wait for you to. Oh my god, folks, you have no idea. I wish you could see this.
It's amazing.
Incredible. I cannot believe I disbelieve my eyes so much that I am going to scoop them out just like they did with Kirstie Alley when they turned her into Meg Foster.
I showed you so many of the right card.
Which is weird because the right card is like one that I made myself and brought from home. I don't know how you got it.
You never will. It's like Chris Angel shit.
I've heard that magicians never reveal their secrets.
Yeah. David Copperfield.
Just like the secrets of the PKE meters.
Don't talk into those.
Yeah, they've clearly been repurposed.
Yes, but
they were just something they had lying around at the soundstage.
Were they ever anything? I don't know what that. I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
If it was
they were probably. It was probably something. It was probably like 2 or 3 things that were stuck together for Ghostbusters that then just got.
Or was it something from the 80s that neither of us know what is, and it was a real piece of equipment? What was the PKE meter?
I feel like it's more likely that they cared enough to build their own fake stuff for Ghostbusters.
Dan Aykroyd is actually
is a lunatic.
Yes, he is a lunatic and a big fan of all sorts of woo-woo bullshit.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm gonna piss somebody off with that if we ever
The
actually
woo
put this
wooist.
out there.
I like me some woo woo bullshit, but I
I
mean,
love
come on.
it, but at
on,
the
Dan
same
Aykroyd.
time, Dan Aykroyd, a lot of the stuff that they actually had, they built themselves for Ghostbusters based on stuff that he was part of.
Okay.
So I don't know if
that makes sense.
I don't know if that was anything that came from any of his bullshit.
So what you're saying is that they're real fake PKE meters.
What's a PKE meter though?
Hello, it's a meter for measuring psychokinetic energy. Everybody knows that. You can tell by the little boo 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 lights on the little flappy things.
You're right. It's been a minute.
Flappy dealies.
Oh well.
I can't believe that you came to this podcast about They Live unprepared to discuss the PKE meters from Ghostbusters. That is such an obvious oversight.
Now I just feel like the late 80s again when I'm embarrassed by my older brothers not knowing.
Everybody was embarrassed in the late 80s.
Yeah, we were really good at that.
And if not, they should have been. They were wearing Bugle Boy jeans.
Did I ever tell you about that time that I had a rock collection?
Was it just rocks?
Yes. I don't remember if it was you or Ian or both of you that said that there was a rock collection that you had going on, and so I got a coffee can and I started filling it with all the rocks in the alley behind the house in town. Like, I got a rock collection, and I showed it to both of you, and you were like, "What the fuck is this?" Basically, like, it's my rock collection.
That makes me sad.
I got a coffee can full of rocks. Aren't they cool?
I got a rock.
I was 4. I had a rock collection too.
I mean, I that makes perfect sense. It's just sort of sad in the way that all children are pathetic, you know.
Yeah. I just
because
like,
they're idiots, you know. It's not their fault.
I was a fool. I love a lot of people I talk to don't have memories from that age. And I have some, and I just love it being like, it's a rock, goes in the can.
Well, yeah, that's how you collect it.
Yeah. It's not been collected.
But I mean, I remember having this vague like starting to become aware that people collected things, and this idea that was a thing that you were supposed to want to do. And
yeah.
I mean, I have become someone who collects certain things, but like there was definitely a point when I was very young when I felt like I was supposed to collect something, but there wasn't a thing that I wanted to collect. And so yeah, I remember that, because I remember like Aunt Patty had a couple of like different collections. And I like she had this whole like big collection of bottle caps that she had say like various bottle caps, and that was like one of those things like, how am I supposed to want it, like am I supposed to do that? Am I supposed to just find like something and accumulate it? And like, I mean, putting a bunch of rocks in a coffee can is as good a way as any to try to satisfy that urge.
It's a good time. What else are you gonna do?
I don't know I don't know what satisfaction you get out of it, but what satisfaction do you get out of any collection that isn't like useful or interactive, you know?
Yeah. No,
and most collections aren't.
Yeah, no, I used to play Magic the Gathering, and I had massive amounts of cards from Magic the Gathering. But that was back when I would play the game with other people. And
right, when you would use them for an activity.
Yes.
That's not inert.
Yeah, and then when it became less useful because I didn't play the game, why did I have them? I don't anymore. I gave almost all of them to my daughter, and it's like, hey Haley, you can do this now. You have all of these things.
I mean, that makes sense. You pass them on to someone who you think might get some sort of joy out of them.
Exactly, because they were just collecting space, and there's some great artwork on there.
Oh yeah,
They don't need
I tend to only accumulate media like comic book, like graphic novels, and movies and things. Like I don't really like. I got rid of like I used to have toys. Like I mean I owned a comic book store for more than a decade. I had a bunch of shit, and I got like I left a lot of that behind, and I just sort of stopped keeping things that I couldn't utilize in some other capacity. If I couldn't take it off the shelf for some reason other than to gaze at it, that I didn't need it. I mean, I guess you could say that's what you do with books.
No, and it makes sense. I've been trying to cut down on the amount of stuff that I have. You guys barely briefly observed my house. It's 864 square feet of awesome. But I've also got like 500 feet of garage that's attached to it. So it's almost a normal sized human house. But we also have 2 dogs, 2 cats, and my son here. So it's like,
yeah, I don't actually know how big our house is. It's fairly petite, but yeah,
it is. But it's
I
also
don't have room to
very well.
collect a lot of shit.
No, but you've also got your cool little your little art studio out back.
I do have my studio. It is it could fill up real quick.
Yeah.
There's it's after that mask show, like sort of all of the available storage is taken up by stored masks now. I'm kind of not sure
Now,
exactly where to go.
when we start getting
from there.
more functionally established as uh we'll and I have gotten myself yeah, here we are. Now we are in the depot. The depot devoid of thought, waiting for the next thought train to come along.
I mean, it sounded like you were on one, but you fell off.
Yep. Which
Are you just stranded on the tracks?
Well,
are you
no,
going to get run over?
You
Are you
fall
going to
into
get carried off into the catacombs by
No.
weird homeless guys?
No, I
Hey,
think
Ted. Hey, what you doing out here on the tracks?
fuck,
You're a long way from home, buddy.
you put me in a bad spot now.
Hey, I know who you are. You're Snake Plissken. I heard you were dead.
It's been so long
Am I
since
not
watched
helping?
that movie. No. Now I'm still further into the depot.
Was it
No.
about They Live, starring Rowdy Roddy?
It wasn't when you did that.
Was it about my amazing mask show?
No, I didn't see that.
You still have 30 days to come to town and see my library show.
I'm probably not going to get up there in 30 days.
Yeah, you saw all those paintings anyway, and they were in my studio.
It's true, and I appreciate it.
I feel like I'm
greatly.
halfway talking like Buck Flower, even when I'm not meaning to now. Like I'm just kind of leaning into it a little bit.
Oh, sometimes it's a lot more fun.
It's such an easy voice to just kind of slide right into.
And it's a bad slide.
It's a lot easier than talking like Max from Heart to Heart.
I ain't never done seen that.
He's got so much more energy. This doesn't really take a lot of energy.
Gross.
I feel like I have to cough every 2 seconds.
All right, so
I do,
back
Max.
to
I have
the
to
movie
suck
that we're
on
talking about.
lozenges. It's pretty much over. He
Yeah,
blows
pretty
up the
much.
signal. He kills Evelyn, right? I think
As
he
she
kills
needs
Evelyn.
to be dead.
Yeah, well, I mean, because she's working for Skeletor, and then we knock out the signal, and all around we basically revisit a lot of the earlier establishing shots, except now things are the way they really are, and
We get to
subliminal
see
messages are
everything.
revealed. We get to see the aliens in full color as like our local news anchors and our political candidates. That's like I said, this movie
And the
was released
men's
like
penis
6
that we're
days
riding.
before. Well, I don't think she could see his penis at that point.
Well, she
Okay,
gets
I'll
to,
admit, as a gay
yeah.
man, my experience with the naked ladies is limited, but it is my understanding that a woman does not possess any ocular devices that would allow her to see what is currently occupying her vagina. Would I be correct in that?
Well, as a man, I don't know, but as a person watching the movie, I can say that the woman riding the alien does get to see that he certainly doesn't look like what she
She
thought he was.
she
And
sees
yet
she
he
definitely
is,
sees
in fact,
him in a new
inside
light.
her.
I'm sure she becomes uniquely aware that the dick inside her probably looks way more blue and spotty than she had originally believed.
With some purple.
I mean, but I mean, I'm assuming that his dick skin is the same as all the other skin that we see. It could be different. I mean, they could have like much weirder dicks. I
And
assume they must feel about the same, or she would have noticed earlier.
and maybe she's secretly got some of those contacts and it's black and white in there.
I mean, it does bring up questions like um how do they feel, because like they've got those big ping pong ball eyes, and I assume like
Well,
during
and the
intimate
blind priest.
interspecies relation at some point, yeah, right, the priests seem to indicate that maybe like they felt like they actually are. So like, do they never like, you never touch the face of your partner at any point during this relationship that you're having, so you don't notice that they have Muppet eyes? It seems like a valid question.
There's some
I
things that are
I'm
not fully
probably,
addressed.
I may be digging more deeply that I need to spoil. You know, sort of like, how do the glasses make it so you can hear better?
Yes. But it's good to ask these questions. That's what we're here for.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our expert.
And they
The questions
also
that don't
really
need
want
to
to
be
know,
asked.
where is Bob Wawawa?
I mean, are you asking whether she went to hell?
Are you asking that? These
Oh
are
no,
the
I know.
questions.
She went exactly where I sent her, Ted.
Great. She needed to go there. Here's the question, though, Matt. Who is everybody going to want to kill first? You or me?
What are the circumstances? Like, why are they killing people?
I don't
Is
know.
it
We're talking
based
about they
on,
live right now. Now
if they're
we're talking
killing
about
based on
they
perceived
die.
threat, they'll probably kill you. If they're killing
Mhm.
based on like, we can sacrifice him for food because he offers little else, they're gonna kill me.
Well, shit. You know, actually,
It's all
This-
about context.
There's gonna have to be a movement within our little podcast about who's going to get killed first. Doesn't have to happen
Speaking
right
of which,
now.
We haven't asked any of the questions that we normally ask. Maybe we should move toward wrapping that up with those questions.
We do need to get that taken care of. We've definitely got off base.
A little bit, and it's after 10. I should probably get back in there before Bill freaks out.
My God.
But so we're going to have to address a couple of important questions for the ages. One of those questions.
Here's the first one. Who is this?
Is that a good kitty or a bad kitty?
It's a good one. This is Sophia. That's the first one.
For those of you who weren't on this Zoom call, Ted was holding up a cat.
She is a black cat with yellow eyes.
Big,
She
bulging,
didn't make a
gross
noise.
alien yellow eyes. Is she a they live?
Yes.
Okay, well, Ted, why is this the most important movie ever made?
Because Rowdy Roddy Piper said, I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
That is a perfectly reasonable answer. He doesn't say that in any of his other movies either.
No, not one of them. Or in any of his wrestling matches.
Actually, I think he does say that in one of his wrestling matches.
Fuck.
But the movie came first, so it was basically a callback.
Fair enough.
It was immortalized in They Live.
Which is a perfect film.
I would say that it is the most important film of all time because it is the only movie ever made that was critical of President Ronald Reagan. I dare you to name another one. You can't do it. Can you? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope. I win.
Well played.
Question the second. Why is this movie, They Live, not as good as RoboCop?
Not as good. Now, this is a twist. It is not as good as RoboCop. Because nobody got hit by a car and turned into a puddle. Well,
That is an important criticism. They should do an alternate cut of The Wizard of Oz where while she's melting, that car just comes zooming through and splatters the Wicked Witch all over the place. That would kick ass.
That would be great.
I was also thinking this evening before we started recording this, as I was watching Escape from New York, when they sort of blew up the cab on the bridge on their way out of town, it would be a pretty amazing twist if the Hail Mary turned out to be that one of the cars abandoned on the bridge was Herbie the Love Bug, and they all piled in and saved the day.
Oh, that would be good. I like that.
I make me laugh. Bill laughed reluctantly when I told him about that.
You know, sometimes the reluctant laugh is the only thing I could get out of Emily.
I mean, what are you gonna? It's not like what am I gonna do? Not say it?
You gotta play.
It's right. Obviously, I'm going to make that observation, so he's just going to have to either go with it, fight me on it, or just laugh reluctantly and hope I move on.
Yeah. It's just like the scary chicken monster with the cat mouth.
This. Oh,
what is this?
Yeah, but I'm not moving on from that.
No, it's a beautiful thing.
I have a feeling that's going to keep coming. I fully intend to make an actual mask of that, like that's
That's great.
like the size of an actual like raw chicken. I'm really looking forward to that. In general, I want to expand that whole library show into like a larger venue and bring a lot more multimedia aspects with masks and full costumes on mannequins. I I have a bunch of ideas for making it like much weirder and more complicated.
I like the idea of it being a people that wear that on their head.
Like Starro.
I don't know what Starro is.
Starro is a monster from the DC universe that sort of manifests as like a weird starfish that sort of slaps around people's faces.
Oh,
and they walk around with it and kind of hypnotizes them.
Yeah, but more like it's a chicken on your head with a cat mouth.
But are you imagining them wearing it on their head like a hat, or on their face like a horrifying mask?
It's their head.
Okay. So it's just like a full like raw chicken with a cat mouth, like just on a neck, like growing out of.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I can go with that.
It's a bad idea, but I like it.
No, I mean, there's no reason that can't work just as well as anything else.
Yeah, no,
I could paint that and see what happens.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I don't want it.
It's another twist.
Yeah, I don't want it to be an oversized chicken either. I don't want it to look like a turkey. I want it to just be their
what
head.
if they? Maybe the big one can like produce the little ones, and it starts out like the little ones run around and slap themselves onto people's faces like Star, but then it just sort of fully consumes the head and replaces it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awful.
It's like a swarm of them.
Yeah, to the point where like basically the chicken legs are just like the headphones. That's it.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I can get into that. But now, what happens if those get onto Shannon, the big blue Sasquatch waitress?
Oh, it still gets her.
That's gonna look. Now, if her head turns into a big raw chicken, is she still wearing the earrings that are dangly golden chicken drumsticks? Because that becomes visually confusing.
They're hanging off of the ankle of the drumsticks of the chicken that is her head.
Okay. All right. We'll see how that goes.
Because those ankles are up here. And that's where they're at. Cattail. It's a thing. Now, the next question, Matt.
John Carpenter's The Thing?
Is that the next thing?
Well, you just said it's The Thing. I was just trying to narrow it down, whether you were talking about The Thing from the Fantastic Four, or Thing 1 and Thing 2 from Cat in the Hat, or John Carpenter's The Thing, or The Thing from Another World, the movie that The Thing is a remake of, or The Thing, which is the prequel to The Thing that was made in like 2011.
You've got a lot of things going on in your head.
I do.
Is it a thing that you want to do next?
We're probably getting close to running out of time on
All
this.
right. I love you, Ted.
Love you too, Matt.
And we will be back. Have an excellent night.
You as well.
The Depot Devoid is that place your mind goes when you've lost your train of thought, but you haven't found a new one. The Depot Devoid podcast is hosted by Matt Fagan and Ted Fagan. Depot Devoid is not hosted by Ian Fagan because he died and we miss him. Find our full video episodes at Depot Devoid Podcast on YouTube. On social media, you can find us at Depot Devoid Podcast on Blue Sky, and for now, still on Facebook and Instagram. Or you can email us at depotdevoidpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, you can listen to the show on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.